What is up, everybody? It's your boy Duty back again with another video, and this time we're taking a look at our boy DSP's daily rap video from last night after a day full of React content, which of course is always boring, and the night stream we had Chrono No Tipper. And the only really interesting piece of streaming, the only thing notable was, of course, the low support for Phil. Phil's insistence on bringing up GameTrekker over and over again. I can see he's still missing his whale. And the mere fact that he misgendered OIC last night, which was pretty funny. Other than that, it was a pretty slow day. You guys can catch up on my videos. I'm not gonna, get into that. But I do want to talk about the whole investment and the Mortal Kombat beta and how Phil is essentially throwing 3 weeks of talking about Streetfighter, Mortal Kombat, being a fighting game player, the investment, the joystick, all that. He's essentially just chucking it out the window because of one, let's say, bad experience on the Mortal Kombat beta this weekend. So let's see what Phil has to say.
Good evening, everyone. Phil here, and welcome to the Daily Wrap. Hooey, for what was Monday, the 21st of August, 2023. Couldn't remember the date. A little break from gameplay. The last 2 days was... What is it with the hair right there? The last 2 days was non-stop fighting games, right? Like, we had Mortal Kombat 1 all day on Saturday, and then yesterday we had Streetfighter 6 all day on Sunday. Today, thankfully, we took a break from fighting games. I really needed it. My hand was actually hurting yesterday after having played 2 straight days of it. And, as I get older, I do need to take breaks from doing that kind of intense control kind of deal, for health purposes. So I was happy today to do some variety of stuff. On today's Level 1 podcast, we basically said goodbye to the summer of Street Fighter. And what I mean by that is this summer, primarily, if you take a look at all the stuff that I played, even though there was some variety mixed in there with games such as Diablo 4, Final Fantasy 16, etc., the major focus of this summer was Street Fighter 6, with a little bit of retro stuff dabbled in for this month's special anniversary festivities. And man, did I play a hell of a lot of Street Fighter 6, and I know a lot of people liked that, but a lot of people also didn't, who aren't into fighting games. And essentially, this was the last weekend where I was doing that. Now fighting games are going to take more of a back seat, or at least, except for their release weeks. Like Mortal Kombat 1, I'm sure I'll be playing the heck out of the story and everything, and we'll do some online, but we're not going to be playing hardcore amounts of Street Fighter 6 moving forward. And so, it was a good send-off for that. Among other things, we had some chill fun. We talked about various different topics. It was a good podcast. And then today was DSP versus the Internet, my React show over on DSP Reacts. I will say we had some good variety today, although admittedly I was a little annoyed that some people keep submitting the exact same kind of clips every week.
Okay, so before we get into the React content, I do want to talk about RIP Street Fighter 6 and fighting games in general. So I'm a little annoyed that Phil spent a week and a half trying to convince everyone that the fighting joystick was a needed investment in the business, and that for some reason he needed to spend $500 as an investment so that he can move over from Xbox to PlayStation 5 to be a good fighting game player. And he couched that with saying that he was going to be playing Street Fighter 6, he was going to be playing Mortal Kombat 1, he was going to be playing Tekken when it came out. He was going to bank the channel on the notion that he is a good fighting game player, and he's kind of one of the go-to people when you want to watch fighting content. And apparently that just got completely thrown out the window because of one bad experience on the Mortal Kombat beta. Let's remember, folks, it was a beta. Now, your boy Duty did pre-order Mortal Kombat 1. He played the beta this weekend. I'm not a huge fan of the cameo, but as it relates to the gameplay, the connections and all that, it was perfectly fine. I had no issue whatsoever. The game ran pretty smoothly, no glitches, no nothing. So I'm not sure what the hell Phil is talking about. I think the main reason why he's trashing the Mortal Kombat beta, especially the multiplayer piece, is because he was just garbage. He was terrible. He was terrible. I think he ended up playing like 60 matches and lost, I think, probably 45 of those matches. He's just not good. It's not his game. And his main complaint is that, well, it's not Street Fighter. Yes, it's Mortal Kombat, and they are kind of rebooting the game. They're changing it up from Mortal Kombat 10 and 11. They're changing it up. Now, you would be the idiot that would sit there, and if it was the same exact game, you would complain, oh, they didn't innovate. It's the same exact game. They're just trying to take your money. They're trying to steal your money by repackaging a DLC as a full game. That's what you would say, Phil. We know you would. So they're changing it up to make it feel different, to be fresh, to be different. And of course, you have to sit and complain and shit all over it, which is what you always do. But the main crux here is that I just love how you just decided to throw away a $500 investment because of one bad experience of Mortal Kombat. And of course, you got big flack for that. People in the FGC, your comments, even your dents were giving you a lot of crap about the Mortal Kombat beta because they agree it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. It was nowhere near as bad as you complained it was. And they want you to play it, Phil. And of course, now you're leaning back to, oh, well, I'm gonna play the game. I'm just gonna really mostly focus on the single player. The single player is gonna be anywhere between 5 to 7 hours. That's what the multiplayer is. And I know you'll try to milk it and stretch it out, but you'll be lucky if you get 3 or 4 sessions out of the Mortal Kombat. And if you do touch the multiplayer piece of it, you'll sit and complain and maybe do it for one night. And what'll end up happening is, just like the beta, you'll get destroyed and you'll sit there and complain and you'll talk about how this is no fun. And then you'll essentially just toss Mortal Kombat into the bin of games that you rage quit. And also, whenever you treat those games like that and you trash them, you get zero support. Why is anyone going to give you money on something you're going to trash? It's like, okay, I know Phil loves the food analogies, right? And the restaurant analogy. I'll give you an analogy, Phil. It's like going to, let's just say you own a restaurant, right? And let's say that you're sitting there and you're walking around to your patrons and you're asking them how everything is, right? And then they say, oh, well, this wasn't too good, or I didn't like this. And you sit there and essentially shit all over your product. And you say, oh yeah, everything here is crappy. It's terrible. I don't know how anyone can eat here, right? And then expect those people to sit there, eat your food, tip your waiters, and come back. That's the food analogy I'm going to give you, Phil. So you sitting here crapping all over a game and yet expecting support isn't going to happen, Phil. And then you'll sit there and complain and say, well, my dents didn't like it because they didn't support. No, you made it boring. You sat there and you complained and you crapped all over it. It's that simple. Okay, let's keep going.
I don't want to watch the same kind of clips every week. I don't want to see another one from King Cobra the Lol Cow. I don't want to see more of this scammer video stuff, because we've seen a lot of it now. And after having seen a few of them, you get tired of it, But there was also some really good videos this week. There was a video from former pro wrestler Maven talking about the 5 years he was with WWE and how much money he made and how money is made by pro wrestlers back then, which was very fascinating. There was a video from a YouTuber who ordered one of those delivery services, HelloFresh, and was comparing the quality and the cost of what he gets from that as if he went to the supermarket and made the meals for himself. So some really good stuff paired with some not so good stuff. As always, that's how the show really is. But it was a good one. I had a good time overall. And, looking forward to the next one. But reminder that the next one will actually be this coming Sunday. I know today was Monday, but that's because of the whole Mortal Kombat thing. The next show will be on Sunday again. Now, speaking of which, tonight's late stream was Chrono Trigger.
Okay, so again, you're seeing Phil complaining about React content. I don't understand that, Phil. So it sounds like you don't want to see the same videos over and over again, right? Like the scam videos and so on. You don't want to see those because you're getting tired of watching those. But food videos and wrestling videos are perfectly fine. You're good with those. Again, Phil, you sit here and you wonder why people don't support your streams. Maybe it's because you're crapping all over it. Maybe because you're sitting there and saying these videos are terrible or you hate watching these. Again, why would anyone want to support someone that's going to crap over the content, especially React content and the way your React channel works, where people pay a membership so that they can give clips that they want to see you react to. So if you're someone that pays $4 and submits clips to review, and Phil reviews the clip and craps all over it, you're going to feel crappy. You're going to sit there and say, well, what's the point of me being a member? What's the point of me submitting this? And people pick up the vibe when you're not interested, Phil. When you're on a stream and you're not interested, people won't support. People just won't support. And that's why, again, your React content garnered $39 in tips. And if it wasn't for GameTrekker, you would have, since GameTrekker is not there anymore, you lost a $30 tip that you would normally get. And you couldn't even get the tier 1 tip go, Phil. But again, this is your making. This is your fault. You continuously crap all over things and then expect different results. I'll go back again to the 3 lengthy RPGs, Zelda, Diablo, and Final Fantasy. All you did was rail and crap, mainly on Final Fantasy and Zelda, and no one supported it. And you sat there and said, well, I don't know why no one supported it. No one supported it because they can feel your vibe, and you treated the games like shit. And honestly, you probably insulted a bunch of people that were actually fans of specific games. I remember you were complaining that one of your mods liked Final Fantasy, and they were annoyed with you that you kept crapping on it. And you continuously crapped on it because you just didn't care, because you're just an obnoxious asshole and you want to get your point across no matter what. And then again, you sit there and say, well, I don't understand why people won't support the playthrough. It baffles me, Phil.
Great progress tonight. We actually got to the point in the story where you're in Zeal, the magical town, and some stuff happens. And basically, you get an upgrade to one of your items that now allows you to go back throughout the game and get a bunch of optional stuff. So I opened a lot of optional doors, got a lot of optional items, re-explored the world, because you don't have to at this point, but I did. I ended up getting powerful armor, a really good helmet, like a lot of really interesting good stuff that's going to help for the rest of the game. So I'm glad, even though it was about 45 minutes of kind of open world exploration to see what you could get now that you got to this part of the game, I think it panned out and worked out well. We had big story developments, and now we're heading into the next major part of the story where you're climbing this mountain and doing a dungeon. It was really fun. And again, I love the Chrono Trigger stuff, the chill streams. I will say this, today, good amount of new members gained on DSP Gaming, which is excellent. But overall, a very slow support day. And the thing is, there's a combination of factors. Number one, as you know, when we do react shows, typically the react shows don't do as well as my other streams. It's true. However, it really is the members that keep the react stuff making sense and profitable for me. And we got a good amount of members over on DSP Reacts. So overall, it's working out. It still works. Even though the streams end up being kind of slow, the memberships help a lot. So thanks to anyone who's a member over there or considering becoming a member. I really appreciate that. All right. But the other factor is, someone who used to support all of those React streams, GameTrekker, is not around anymore. He said his goodbyes on Saturday. So because of that, that's something that we've had ever since I started the React channel. Every week when we do my React show, there's a tip that comes in, and it didn't come in today. So because of that, yeah, things were slower in that regard. People were like, oh my God, the reaction is not doing good. I'm like, it's really not the case. It's just, things change over time, right? Now, tonight's Chrono Trigger stream, a lot of memberships came in, and I'm appreciative of that, all right? I'm not here to sit here and complain and say, oh my God, horrible performance today at all. We've had good performance, and good support over the last several weeks, so I'm not going to complain whatsoever. What I will say is, I hope that tomorrow, because we're getting back into the swing of regular gameplay stuff, that things will get back to normal and normalized. So what are we doing tomorrow? Content continuing on. So that's a streaming week. I'm off later on Thursday, and then Friday is the premiere of Armored Core 6, and then Saturday is my big 15-year anniversary event. So lots of special fun stuff coming up. And thanks. Great streaming day. Overall, I had a great day streaming. I just hope that tomorrow things more normalized with the support, because I realized it was all over the place today because of the React show and everything. But all right, that is it, everyone. Thank you all. Have a good night. Sorry I didn't upload the podcast. I'll get that for you as soon as possible.
Ah, yes. Phil wants everything to normalize. What the hell does he mean by normalize, Phil? Jeez Christ. Phil. I don't know what's worse, when he was just full throat begging, nonstop begging for tips, begging for memberships, begging, just in general begging, and actually doing begments on his daily rap. I don't know what's worse, that Phil or this Phil, where he has to pussyfoot around everything and, be careful with his words and, use semantics to get his point across. And all that does is it's just going to lead to him to have a meltdown. It's going to lead to him doing another scorn breakdown. It's going to lead to him basically telling his dents, if he doesn't get tips today, then he's fucked. Just like he did a couple weeks back, about a month back ago, right before his day off. That's what it's going to lead to. And then he's going to come back and he's going to say, I'm sorry, I'm going to do better. The normal song and dance. And of course, he'll try to convince everyone that he's a changed man. He's a changed person. He no longer begs. Look at his camera quality. Look at the LED lights, the whole song and dance. But that's what you are, Phil, at your core. You've set yourself up that you rely, you're reliant on the generosity of strangers. And that's a very tough position to be in, especially when you have nothing else going for yourself. It's not like you have sponsorship. It's not like you have a part-time job. It's not like you do other activities outside of streaming that can maybe give you passive income. That's what most streamers do at your level, Phil. They have either a second job or they have some type of secondary, income that comes in, whether it be a spouse or whether it be just, passive income, like I said. And you have none of that. So you're just simply reliant on the generosity of your dents. And when that just doesn't come through because they just don't have the money or your level of support is just really not there, then you're screwed. And I think the mere fact that you're getting that you have 500 members on your channel, leads you to believe that you're bigger than what you are, Phil, and you're not. You're not. Your core membership is anywhere between 3 to 350 people. That's it. Those are the people that every month pay for these memberships, and everything else, I guess, are gifted memberships. And again, Phil, you're leaving yourself vulnerable, where you're relying again on the generosity of strangers, and that generosity is just not always there. So for you to sit there and you say you want things to normalize, it's just laughable, Phil. It's not normal when you're a panhandler, when you're a beggar. Some days are going to be good, and some days are not going to be good. And you just have to adjust your life on that, because of course you refuse to do anything different, and you refuse to get a job, and you've refused to change your ways. Anyway, that's all I have to say. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Peace out.